Welcome to episode 9 of Sound People, where we share inspiring stories in the South Puget Sound. Today's episode is about a local business, ShowCase Media. We met with the president and founder, Robin Lucas. We've known Robin now for several years, and she is a true entrepreneur and class act.
Yeah, her story is very inspiring because she ventured out from corporate America to follow her passion, which is media. And the company has grown over 15 years. It started as a lifestyle magazine, and now it's this entire media platform where they do social media, they do community events, and they do print. One of the things that I've always loved about Robin is she grew up locally, and so her passion for connecting the community is evident in what the company does. They connect people and families and businesses.
We hope that you'll enjoy her story as much as we did.
Well, my story starts with I was working a corporate job and working my way up the corporate ladder. And I was with a staffing firm, and it was a lovely company. And I was had a corner office in Seattle, but I wasn't fulfilled. And a door opened, and I had an opportunity to create my own publication, and I always had a vision of doing a lifestyle publication that was about the art of living and shining a light on those doing good things in the community. So that started 15 years ago, and I started with myself and 2 half-time employees and my family in my home, and it's grown and grown and grown over the last 14 years.
What did you do first? Like, what was the first step? Was it the malls or
the magazine?
The magazine was the first step.
It was the first step.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, can you share with us how it branched out from there?
Absolutely. So one of the exciting things about being in media is there's a lot of elements to it, and it's all about connecting and having different platforms. And so we had created the magazine, and we decided about 3 years in, hey, we want to do events as well and connect our community with these fun events. A lot of them have a wellness aspect to it, but really bringing the community out so that they can engage. So that was something that we decided to do early on, and it's been a lot of fun.
Entrepreneurs they're creative and they're different. I mean, they're kind of cut from a different mold. And whenever I talk to people who have done entrepreneurial things in their life, I look for the little threads, but a lot of things are developed in our childhood. And I'm just curious about what your childhood was like. If you can just share things that you did then and how it impacted you to go out and try to do something on your own. Obviously, you're not ever going to go back into the corporate world because you've got your own business.
I don't think I could at this point. I think I'm a little broken now. I can't do it.
But can you speak a little bit about growing up and the things that impacted you?
Yeah. So growing up, I was the oldest of 4, and had a lot of responsibility in my family, and I really feel like that has shaped who I am. And we were also a family that had faith, so that faith runs through everything that we do and is always something that I go back to in the hard times and the good times. So I would say those 2 things, and just, coming from a family that hard work was important.
You do any media stuff when you were a kid?
No, but funny, when I look back, how we have our gifts and talents growing up. So I had like a little journal club. I started that when I was 9 years old and did writing, and I had each one of our club members write a piece. And I look back and I go, there it was.
There's a little seed.
Yes, and then in high school, I was on the yearbook committee and laid out magazines and did writing, and so it was there. Yeah, it was there.
How has COVID just changed what you've done? I don't imagine, with sending things to businesses or homes with the publications, I don't think that would change much, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great question. So the pandemic, it's been hard for every business across the table. But one of the great things for us was that we direct mail, and we have the digital pieces that go out. But the piece that did get impacted is obviously there's no events going on during a pandemic, you know. So instead of doing those events, we were able to create different opportunities on our platforms for people to connect, both through social media and introductions with our clients, and finding those other ways that we could connect. And you really had to get creative during this time to make those connections happen. And one of the things I'm most proud of that our team did during this time is we would have weekly meetings, and we would sit down and say, what can we do to shine a light right now? Because there was a lot of fear that was happening, both for our readers and for, you know, our partners in the community. So what can we do to support those people in the community? And both from just going out and offering support, listening and offering suggestions, but also we were able to donate more than we've ever donated to nonprofits in our community, which we feel pretty proud of that.
Sure.
One of the things during the pandemic that we really were proud of, and it was a struggle, but it was fun too. We were able to mine some stories for our best of issue, and we went out with the idea that we were going to tell these great stories about heroes in the community, thinking we'd do mostly frontline heroes. But as we did some mining, we found that there were great people in our community that really needed to be recognized, like restaurateurs, those folks that are really being impacted. And so we were able to tell those stories, which was great. And one of my favorite stories is a story of Michelle Brenner. She's out of Gig Harbor. And during the pandemic, the early days in March and April, she wanted to do a homemade lasagna for anybody that would want one. Started with frontline workers. And over a period of time, she did over 1,000 lasagnas. And during that time, and here's
a lot of work.
Yes, and during that time, one of the great things that came out of it is people came out of the woodwork wanting to donate and give of their time and be of service. And that is just exciting. And it became bigger than her, right? And she was able to uplift the community. So we loved telling that story. I think it's important for people to see that leaders are also always trying to better themselves, and they're struggling, and you know, there's things that we're challenged with too.
Absolutely. Problems abound with everybody. You don't get out of your problems.
That's right.
No.
It's just how you deal with them.
That's right. Yeah. And I love how you talk about that too. And obviously, when you run a company, you have to deal with those issues and communicate them to your team. And I get so much from these interactions that we have with businesses, because I pick up little things every time. But you see that as a consistent theme, is people that run companies learn how to deal, however they do it, they learn how to manage very, very difficult problems.
Yes.
And
It's problem solving. I think that's one of the keys. Is problem solving.
Businesses are they're all day long, and they don't shut off.
Always
and
there.
they require our attention. And so how do you balance that with your life and the things you want to do outside of work?
Yeah, it's all about the art of living for me. And I really, on our team, we really feel that's important. And so we encourage one another to find balance in the things that we're doing. Even though we're busy, there's a difference between being busy and being stressed out because you're busy. So really we seek to have the balance in the business. And I encourage my people when, you know, they're getting to the point where they're up here, I say, all right, you might need a day off, right? Or you need to step back, and I do a lot of coaching with them and about, you know, take a deep breath, go for a walk, you know, take 20 minutes, go away from this and come back, and then let's relook at this. And some of those things, that's really important to me, because I want to do the business for a long time. And I want my people to be happy, and I want them to be well. We are a virtual team, and everybody on staff is virtual, and we have so that's been interesting too. For us, we actually had an advantage during the
you were set
pandemic
up.
because we were already set up. The media field, it's it's fairly easy to do that because of the work that we do. But it means because we don't have that office chatter, you know, we don't have those daily touches, we need to make those, make that touch, you know. We have a lot of calls, we have a lot of meetings.
Yeah, intentional conversation.
Yeah, and I have a lot of one-on-ones with my staff just to say, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen you on the Zoom, but how are you really doing? That type of thing.
What advice would you give to somebody that, you know, maybe is coming out of high school or coming out of college and goes, I'd really like to start something like this, or I want to start something that doesn't exist. You know, after doing this for 15 years, what would you go, hey, that's a big takeaway?
Find something you're passionate about. Owning your own business is not easy.
No.
And one of the things I see in entrepreneurs that runs true is they always have that passion for something, whether it be their product or their service or the people that they serve. Find that passion, because really, when it gets tough, that passion is what pulls you through. It really is. Find people that you can support and uplift in your particular business, and do that, whether you think you have time or resources, because the reality is you don't have time not to. You have to create that community.
Yeah. Businesses, and I think sometimes entrepreneurs in general, they get glamorized, and people don't really see the difficulties that surround the pressure of having a business. And you're right, it has to grow. That was something that I learned early on in my career, is this thing has to keep moving and getting bigger, and the constant pressure of that is hard, and over time it can wear on you. And I think the way around that, I love that you say that, you know, if you really love it and you develop this passion for it, that's the thing that will pull you through the difficult times when you look at it and say, this is just getting, I mean, it's exhausting, because that's the thing about growth, is it
Never ends.
it doesn't stop.
No.
I mean, by definition, it has to keep getting bigger.
Right.
So, yeah, it's not like you get someplace and you go, okay, now we've grown.
Right.
It has to keep going.
Yes. Yeah. But it is good to grow and sit back and go, look at what we've created.
Yeah.
And appreciate that.
Those are the moments.
They are.
I'd say they always, they don't.
They're fleeting.
They're
They
fleeting.
are. They
yes,
are.
it's something that I say to our people, is that happiness is this funny thing. If you go out and you just try to pursue it, it's kind of like breathing oxygen. If you try to capture oxygen and hang on to it, you'll suffocate. And happiness is kind of like that too. Everybody wants to go pursue it and be happy, and
Have it all the time.
yeah, but it comes, and when it comes, you enjoy it. And I think for businesses too, when you're growing something, you have these little moments of euphoria and largely it's moments of gratefulness where you look at your life and you say, wow, look at how far we came and what we did.
Yes.
And those are the moments that you live for, but they come and go.
They do.
Because the minute it's there, then some
Other catastrophe
some
comes
chaotic
along.
event hits you in the morning and says, this thing's going to put a stop to all the fun.
Right.
So
Right.
as you guys are looking ahead now, what's in your future?
Yeah, continued expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had plans on the table to continue to expand new magazines and new offerings,
Cool.
just as COVID came down. So I made the call to kind of let's hold off and
Pause.
let's pause for a month, because this is going to be gone in a month, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking.
Right. But yes, I mean, growth. You have to grow as a business.
Sure.
You have to continue
That's
to grow.
right.
So we want to continue to expand our platforms and provide those good venues for our readers to connect.
And so I know ShowCase magazine we've been very familiar with over the years, and then there's a somewhat newer one, the New Neighbors Guide. What is the third one, and how can people subscribe or get that content that you're putting out?
Thank you, Angie. I really appreciate the question, and that really gets to, and I have to say, what you guys do well and what ShowCase does well is always asking that question, how can we help? And I really appreciate that. It's what I think sets us apart. So ShowCase Magazine, we are a lifestyle publication, and And our New Neighbors Guide for Pierce County was created when we saw a need in the community. We saw that people were moving from King County down to Pierce County because of housing prices.
Yes.
So there was a need for those new people that were moving to our community to connect and find services, find their community. So with that, we launched in 2019 our New Neighbors Guide for Pierce County. Then in our travels to Thurston County, we had our clients down there say, well, now we're seeing an influx of Pierce County is now the housing increase is coming up. So in Thurston County, we're now needing the same thing.
Oh,
So there was an opportunity for us to create the New Neighbors Guide in Thurston County.
Oh.
And they're different products in that our ShowCase magazine is a higher-end lifestyle publication that connects the community. The New Neighbors Guide is really for those that have moved to our community within the last 6 months.
Sure.
So really making that connection. And we love to have that platform where we can connect people in the community. And if your viewers would like to be a part of that, we would encourage them to go to showcasemedialive.com and subscribe and become a part of our ShowCase family.
There's great stories there, and with the New Neighbors Guide, because we get it at our house, is if you're looking for services where you go, it's reputable. I know that what Robin and your team, what you put out is high quality stuff. People that are supportive of the community and doing good in the community, you go, okay, I can feel really good about using this business or this vendor. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank you,
having
Robin.
me.
Yeah,
I
it's been
appreciate that.
fun.
Yeah.